Sword Art Online, one of the most successful anime lately. While it has a huge fanbase who seems to love it, there's also a huge amount of people who downright don't like it. However, mostly I hear people say that it got bad after the first arc. So Sword Art Online has multiple arcs? I did not know. How did I not know? Honestly, Sword Art Online left a skeptical opinion on me right after the first episode, and I refused to watch it further. Why? Because I noticed so much wasted potential right after watching just one single episode of this. It pains me to watch further, just seeing how much potential got wasted right there. This is why we are here today. I want to clarify what went wrong and how I would rewrite the first episode. Be reminded though, I'm just an amateur writer and no professional, so my ideas might have some plot holes here and there. However, I will not change the basic plot of the first arc, and be reminded, I can only speak for the first episode I've seen, so future characters or development are not considered. Also, it is only my opinion, to be exact. If you think Sword Art Online is fine as it is and you enjoy it, that's fine. You have every right to do so. Anyway, since that's out of the way, on to the points. Just because I'm not a fan of Sword Art Online does not mean I noticed various positive aspects right in the first episode. In theory, I actually like Sword Art Online and would have watched further, if not for a huge negative aspect. But let's focus on the positives first. First of all, I noticed it had great animation and fighting scenes. I only saw episode 1 as a whole, but here and there I found a few fighting scenes which visually impressed me and I really enjoyed watching. The second thing I really like is the soundtrack of this anime. It stuck with me and I can say that the opening is among my favorite soundtracks and songs in an entire anime. And J-pop, since I mainly hear that stuff. I also love the character design and the art style. They're very appealing and I can't deny it. Also, the world caught my interest right away, especially in the combination with the plot of the first arc. It turns out, around the middle of all the 100 players, I think it were 100 players, are caged in the game and they can only get out of it if they reach the 100th floor. However, if they die once in the game, they will also die in the real world. The plot is short on paper and all, but leaves too many interesting scenarios and interactions which could have made this anime very interesting and easily one of my favorites. So, as you can see, I don't hate Sword Art Online, if you thought that. I don't think it's garbage. It has many good points going for it, which would make me want to watch further and be interested in. Especially since this takes place in an RPG world. And you know how much I love RPGs. Or not, but now you know. However, there is one fatal flaw which made me drop the anime right away. I had my hopes high up. If I'm honest, I really had. But then this happened. The huge flaw. Not considering anything else people complained about, since I can't speak of that, I noticed something right away on the main character, which made it obvious that this anime will only be boring to watch. And that is the main character, Kirito. Now, I don't want to bash on Kirito if you like him. That's fine. But to me, he does not seem even slightly interesting. All the points, all he gave away, I was sure right from the start that he is in fact a Gary Stu. Okay, maybe that's a bit too far-fetched. Let's just say I knew right away, around the middle, that I won't have any fun watching with him as the main character. Hear me out why. First off, he was a beta tester of the game. Now, this is no issue in itself, but nothing I'd like to see as the main character, at least in my perspective. Considering Kirito is a beta tester, he probably has more knowledge about the game than almost anyone else he will encounter. He might just reveal many things about the world flat in our face without giving real time to explore. Except updates happen or something, but that's beside the point of the first plot. But this has also led me to another conclusion right off the bat. Considering he knows a lot about the game and its world, he'll probably face not much struggles, and if so, overcome them with ease. This is not very interesting if I can be honest. If the character is not set up for real challenges, then what's the point of watching such a character? I personally cannot really identify with this all, especially when first diving into this world of a game. But not just that, also his knowledge seems to be a bit too much. Or he is just good at guessing. Since his reaction to the whole, "Oh, you're all a cage in the game now and you can't do anything if you die here, you die in the real world," seems a bit too calm for me. Now, maybe I remember it wrong since watching the first episode has been a little while, but I was not really sure if that's a proper reaction. In fact, I'd rather be shocked and wouldn't know what to do at first and be more worried about my life than anything else. But reacting very calm, even in the thoughts. Now, okay, it's not exactly calm, but I think you get my point. I'm not so sure about that. Kirito being strong is the least of my worries. Honestly, that's fine with me. He can still be a strong, skilled player. Might it be because he gets the game's mechanics quickly, or quickly gains experience during his time caging the game? However, give him equally strong foes, make him struggle throughout his journey, make him show any signs of struggle and desperation. I haven't watched too far, and that could be the case, but I highly doubt this really happens, or happens convincing, considering his first impression on me. As a conclusion, I can only say this about the main character, at least in my perspective, and the reason why I dropped Sword Art Online right after one episode. Kirito ruins the experience right away for me. He gives away a lot of information the viewer could just experience themselves via his character, and no real development will be witnessed or just minor. Doesn't change that he seems to easily predict the themes. He knows to overcome challenges easily, making it boring to watch him in the first place. After explaining what in my eyes went wrong right away, I'd be glad to explain what I would change. Nothing outside of the main character ruins the experience for me, so it's obvious that I'd mainly make changes about the main character. A character like Kirito is fine as an introduction to the world, since he's able to introduce the viewer to core aspects to make them understand the world or game. However, the main character should be switched to maybe someone who has barely any experience with the game and must gain experience throughout their journey. Is there an example in the show? Why yes, there is, and his name is Klein. Why Klein? Well, from what I remember, Klein is one of the new players of Sword Art Online and inexperienced. It makes things more fun since we could experience this new world via a player's eyes, who is just as inexperienced as us and probably has to face the many struggles of this new world. He'd have potential to develop as a character, and with his strength, depending on various scenarios, choices, how many allies he lost. I mean, it is implied that he'll probably team up with his friends, so I'll count that too, and see a process of him becoming stronger, or give him a tragic end. I'm not sure how he ends up during the process of Sword Art Online, or if he returns at all, so I let possibilities for his development in the series open. Why would I rate a story surrounding him instead Kirito? I mean, that'd still be the same. That is true. Klein was just an example for this. You could put there any new player, in all honesty. And he is an example in the show, so I picked him. And besides, this would completely change Kirito's character, which I don't really want to happen either. I'll still tell you later why, by the way. But let's first keep it at that. Also, it is a rather personal view I'd like to sum up and explain my choice for such a character. I hope you understand it as I'll explain it. I think it makes the viewer curious about the world since they could experience it via a new player's eyes, as the viewer knows nothing themselves. And since this is all an anime involving an online game, it'd be relatable. No one started out great at a game. Even I suck more. I can't believe I'm including it, but I have to. Man, I never escaped that game. Anyway, in Fire Emblem games. Yeah, I went that far. Anyway, back to the point. Well, maybe I still suck in this game, but I improved over the time. I mean it, and got to know the games in general. Might it be the characters, the world, or the gameplay? And I improved over the time and grew attached to the world. Such a character would be way more relatable and make more sense since the viewer is technically a new player, as well as since they know nothing about this world. It's like playing a video game for the first time. or someone watching a video game for the first time, which would be a let's play. You get the point. And as said, Kirito doesn't have to disappear either. He can still be a side character the new player bumps into from time to time. They eventually chat for a bit, maybe become even friends, and Kirito could be some kind of advisor for them, giving advice on how to solve this problem. However, he would never give away the complete solution to the problem, only a hint, and the main character has to find out how to solve this problem themselves. Kirito's character wouldn't need to change, and he can still remain the character he is. I would like him much more in this role, honestly, since he'd still have an important function, even if he's a side character. I feel like if characters were chosen that way, it'd be a lot more interesting from a story perspective. I can see people heavily disagreeing though. I can already see it. Well, I needed to share my thoughts though. So, that's it. That are my thoughts. Do they sound logical or just silly and dumb? Let me know. Is there something you'd like to add? Thanks for taking your time watching this, and I might see you next time!